I appreciate the opportunity to play some part in welcoming you to this year's State of the City program. My name is Sarah Dungan, and I am the current Martinsville Rotary Club president. What a year this has been for everyone. A big thank you to the Martinsville Chamber Board and its members, as they have again found a way to make this event happen despite all the obstacles. The Martinsville Rotary Club is a service club of businessmen and women, and we are proud to continue working with the Chamber and the Mayor's office to help keep this community event going. Thank you to all the sponsors and participants for your support. The support of the community is so much appreciated and has been so wonderful this past year. Your support and donations for this event in particular are so important. Besides helping to support the activities of the Martinsville Rotary Club and Chamber, as you know, every year the Mayor chooses to provide a contribution to his choice of charitable organization, which is Wellspring this year. Awards will also be given out for Outstanding Business Professional, Outstanding Business, and the Ruth Rusie Spirit of Service Award. There are so many people deserving of these awards. Congratulations to this year's award winners. I look forward to this year's program and seeing you all in person next year. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Darcy Quakenbush, and I'm the chair for the Greater Martinsville Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors. We were so hoping that this year's remarks would be at our usual State of the City dinner, but due to ongoing concerns surrounding the pandemic, here we are once again, virtually. How does the Martinsville Chamber contribute to our community? We are a catalyst for positive economic growth and a convener of community and business stakeholders to address current issues. We are a champion promoting our members, our business community, and all the good that is Martinsville and Morgan County. 2020 was a year like no other. Is anyone else tired of the word unprecedented? Like many of our members, the Chamber had to pivot in order to meet not only the needs of our members, but the needs of our community. We worked to refocus our energy on assisting our members, the business community, and our residents in any way we could during this global health and economic crisis. We provided many resources and consultations to guide businesses through the challenge of this pandemic, and for some, major road construction challenges. We connected new and existing businesses with any appropriate resources to help them survive during the ongoing crisis. A few were even able to thrive in spite of challenges and are considering expansion. Our website, martinsvillechamber.com, became a one-stop shop, highlighting the many COVID-related resources that were being offered, along with continual updates on local businesses, keeping our community informed of their ever-changing statuses. A hashtag Morgan County Strong section was created and quickly became a go-to resource for local, state, and national coronavirus information, help for our businesses, local updates, unemployment insurance info, tools for working remotely, and resources and information for reopening and recovery. Zoom meetings became the norm, and they are here to stay. We will certainly continue to use online meetings and presentations when appropriate, but we are anxious to get back to in-person meetings and events in a very safe way. Watch our newsletter and Facebook page for the details on our first meeting since last year's February luncheon, happening this month. Board member Amy Bennett, chair of our Member Services Committee, and her team are also planning a networking opportunity in May, the Morning Buzz. They are exploring other ways that we might engage our members and their guests and provide more benefits for our membership. The Chamber has continued to participate in and host meetings and strategic sessions on I-69 and related NDOT projects, downtown planning, workforce development topics, and Main Street 101, to name a few. Knowing that our youth are our future, the Chamber partners with the school system on several initiatives coordinated by our business and community development team. Unfortunately, due to COVID-19, those initiatives were put on the back burner, but we are hoping to gear up again this fall. We would not be able to serve our community as we do without the efforts of our resource development team led by Karen Dransfield. Karen's team is responsible for planning the State of the City event in partnership with the Rotary Club and hosting our annual chili cook-off and chalk art contest. Along with the production of our popular printed calendar, these events raise the funds that keep our Chamber going. The Chamber is blessed with an amazing board of directors, so if you see them, please thank them for all they do. Tracy Scott, WCBK, is our past board chair. Tanya D'Agostino Robinson, Citizens Bank, is our treasurer, and Karen Dransfield with Home Bank is our secretary. Other invaluable board members include Amy Bennett, Bruce Calloway, Ashley Handy, Amy Ketterer, David Maurer, Jerry Walden, and Barb Witzke. We are always looking for more ways that we can serve our businesses and citizens, so find all the details on coming events and see all that Martinsville Chamber of Commerce has to offer by liking us on Facebook and visiting martinsvillechamber.com often. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jamin Baxter, and I'm with Inside Morgan County, and I am joined today with Mayor Costin.
Hello, Jamin. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
It's a beautiful day, and we're here as a part of the Chamber of Commerce Rotary Club Mayor's State of the City address. And typically, we would be in a cafeteria, and there'd be a podium, and our bellies would be full, and then you get to speak, and everyone's
bored,
tired.
ready to go home. When would he shut up and get out of here?
So
I understand.
Yeah, you've
been there, done that.
So last year, the mayor did his address from City Hall, and this year we are at the Brickhouse Loft Boutique. We're outside. It's a beautiful day, and we just thought we'd take advantage of the weather and the great scenery and this beautiful boutique. And thank you, hotel, and thank you to Mrs. Keller for letting us use it. We're very pleased.
It is a beautiful facility. We had a prayer session yesterday at the clerk's office, and the group that were from California stayed here over the weekend. They were very impressed with the accommodations here, so kudos to Michelle.
Absolutely. Thanks, Michelle. So a lot's been happening this last year. Of course, we're dealing with COVID, and we'll talk a little bit about that, but the main thing that is on everyone's mind is this water project, because we're driving over all these holes and
What holes?
Patches and so talk a little bit about the water project.
Oh, I tell you what, my joke is now, if you know of a nice street, let us know so we can go tear it up. This is a project that was started back in 2018, maybe even a little bit earlier than that. It is replacing the water lines downtown and the meters. They're going to be electric read meters, which will be more accurate, easier for the water department to make those readings at the end of the month. It's Washington, Maine, Morgan, Jefferson, and a block each way off of the square that's going to take. So it's basically a 9-block square that we're going to replace all of the water lines and the meters. It's a fantastic opportunity. It's about a $6.5 million project. And like I said, it was started back in 18. There was, this year on your water bill, there was an increase on that. Next year, there will be another increase. And then the third year, there's 3 increments, a total of about 13% increase on the water bills to pay for all of this infrastructure. We also received a $700,000 grant from Okra, which helped with this project. And it's not just the water lines downtown. We're getting 3 new wells. When we ran our campaign back in 19, we were strong advocates of moving our water wells from where they're at. You know, they're down at the baseball diamonds. And once we got into office and the EPA became involved with the plume, they said that if we moved the water wells, then it would not be considered a Superfund site any longer. So they would not clean it up. Now, we could move the water and get our drinking water from somewhere else, but it's not necessarily the water we're worried about. It's the vapors that's being emitted from the PCE. You know, once the water is going through our filtration center, then it's good. It's non-detectable as far as the PCE. Now, the vapors, though, are still there. So we need the EPA to come in and clean that up for us. And we realized if we took the water wells and moved them, that's not going to happen. And, you know, air vapors, once they get above 5 feet, they're not dangerous. So you and I could go down there in the ball diamonds and not be a problem. But look who we've got down there playing. Our young ones that are small. And so that's where the danger comes from. So that's why it's important that we're cleaning that site up. There's several things going on right now. Gary Oakes, the Director of Planning and Engineering, and Dr. Adams is representing the city and talking and having conversations with the EPA and starting to work on what is going to be their approach on cleaning the plume up.
Let me back us up a little bit. You mentioned rate increases. The city does not decide what those rate increases are, correct?
That's correct. It's put before the IURC, the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission, and they go through a very strategic process in analyzing our water usage, our customers, what they're paying now, what this project was going to be. So they are the ones that implemented the price increases, and that's why they're staggered over the 3 years.
So it doesn't matter who would have won the election, who's the mayor. Someone else is deciding that.
Correct.
But no matter who's in office, the mayor always gets blamed for it.
Oh yeah, but that's okay. I've said before when I took office, the buck stops with me. If there's a problem, I'm the one that's
Sure.
ultimately responsible for it.
Right, absolutely. We're outside the Martinsville Fire Department, and we are about to present the award for Outstanding Business Professional of the Year. And it's going to go to a gentleman named Brian Collier, who is a firefighter, but also a business owner in town, and he owns H&R Block. And wait until you hear the story about why he was nominated for this award. It's really awesome. So let's go surprise him. How you doing, Brian?
Hi, I'm doing great.
Do you know Darcy
Yes.
with the Chamber of Commerce?
Yes.
How are
I'm
you?
doing great.
We're here to present you with the 2021 Outstanding Business Professional of the Year Award.
Well, thank you.
Congratulations.
I'm shocked. Thank you.
So, I want to tell you something. The person that nominated you is Bob Forgeit with Forgeit, Weimer, and Hayden. And apparently, I'm sorry?
Bob Weimer.
Yeah, with Bob. Bob nominated you.
Yes.
And apparently, last year, around this time, he was very sick. And they came to you for help, and you and your company stepped up and helped them, even though they're technically competitors. You guys stepped up and helped them get through the tax season, and they nominated you because you stepped up, and we're proud of you for doing that. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. It was an honor.
Congratulations. And because of COVID, the plaques are on back order, but when we get them, we'll be coming by with a picture.
Well,
to
thank
get
you
a
very
picture.
much.
So thank you.
Got the whole
Congratulations.
crew.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Yes. I am surprised, and I'm humbled. Thank you.
So let's talk a little bit about the downtown enhancement. There's talk about a performance venue. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes. Several years ago, Kimley Horn was brought in to do an evaluation of downtown, and they had 6 components to make up the revitalization of the downtown. 1 and 2 are where we're going to have the performance park. The first step is the city is in the process of buying the lots from Mr. Stanhouse on Pike and Jefferson. That will be turned into a performance area. We're also looking at redoing the alley off of Morgan Street that comes back to the empty lot, so it'll be a passable way for people to go through.
So let's outline where that is. That would be between Foley, Pete, and Wisco and
The smoothie shop. Yes.
That would be a way for pedestrians to get from downtown over to the performance venue.
Correct.
And then the empty lot you're talking about is next to the art sanctuary.
Correct.
Okay, go ahead.
And we're also trying to get the building there along the alley that we could turn into a welcome center for Martinsville. And that way there would be restrooms in there when we have events going on downtown, and also be staffed with someone to give brochures and information in regards to the city. We're hoping to have this accomplished by September of 2022, which is the bicentennial for Martinsville. And once we get this in place, we're hoping, right now we've got 4 concerts planned for this summer. If you drive by the lot right now, you'll see Miller Construction has a lot of pipes on that property. Hopefully by the 1st of May, those will be removed. We can get some grass seed done, and Rob Helms is going to be having his concert series there this summer. Once we get the park in place, we would like to see it be utilized every weekend from, say, the end of April to the end of October. It'll be a very great benefit for our downtown area. We have the cruise in on Thursday nights, and if we have our summer concerts and other activities, it'll be a way of drawing more people downtown to take advantage of our beautiful downtown.
Absolutely. But let's flesh out what performance venue looks like. Is that just a stage with a bunch of people in lawn chairs, or is there, I've heard talk of an amphitheater.
Well, it's not going to be an amphitheater.
Okay.
It'll be a stage. There is a steering committee right now that's looking at the final proposal for what it's going to be.
Nothing definite yet.
Right. One of the things that Debbie and I noticed, as we traveled around and looked at the different stages and venues such as this, was that there was a playground close by. So as the parents are listening to music, then there was an area for the kids to go and play. And so they're looking at something that, to include along those lines also. And that would be on the west side of Jefferson Street.
Okay, great. Do you want to talk any about the beautification of downtown?
Oh, it's just fantastic. We're indebted to the Artesian Group and Mr. Finneman for all the work that they've done. We've got some great restaurants that are here. It's just amazing. And again, last weekend we had a group from California that were here, and they were just commenting and marveling on how beautiful our downtown is. And we're so blessed to be here.
I-69. So not only do we have the water stuff going on downtown, we've got I-69. Did you know that 37's closed through Martinsville?
I wondered why I couldn't get down through there. It was really rough the last time I went down there. I'm glad I had a truck and not my vet.
Traffic's crazy around here, especially on a Friday night, Saturday. But give us the update on I-69.
Well, hopefully, no. It is a problem because of all the traffic that's coming through. But once we get through, the benefit that it's going to provide for Martinsville, we can't even start to measure at this point. I'm hesitant to say this, but I'm going to go on record and say it. They keep telling Gary Oaks they are ahead of schedule, but we also know here in the spring, 2 rainy weeks could put them 4 weeks behind.
Sure.
So, but we're looking to have this completed by the end of the year.
That's great.
Now, next year at this time in the spring, when the asphalt plants start opening up, the state will come in and we're going to pave from the bypass all the way out to Rubin Drive. We're going to stripe it off. We're going to put parking back on Morgan Street as close to the way it was before as we can. And then they're going to pave in front of RMC on Morton Avenue to Main, and then Main on up into Morgan. With the water project that we were talking about earlier, we're still going to be paving some of those streets. So by the end of April, middle of May next year, we should have all of our paving done, and the city's going to look beautiful.
And talking about beautiful, the work that's going to happen on South Street and Ohio Street, talk about that, because it's going to look amazing.
South Street right now is very dangerous, and we are all aware of that. And I can't sing his praises enough of what Gary Oaks has done for the city. In his position, he got to realizing when we took office, Ohio Street was supposed to be done before South Street. Well, he got to looking through some documents and he realized that South Street was farther along in the engineering process than Ohio. And South Street creates more of a hazard than Ohio does. So he went back before the state, showed them the documentation he had, and asked them, can we flip these two projects? Pretty much the same cost for the state, so they said we could. So we are going to let the bids in January for work starting probably close to this time next year on South Street. It's going to be widened to 12-foot lanes. There's going to be sidewalks on both sides, and it's going to be brought to Ohio Street. Once that project's through, then they'll start Ohio Street up to Garfield. When they were looking at this project back in 18 and 19, they were going to take Ohio Street all the way to Morgan. Well, we were talking with the state one day and asked, could we go to Garfield, put a roundabout in there, and bring the main access over in front of John Wooden Middle School to Main Street and make Main Street our main entrance into the city. It's a wider street, it's a beautiful street, and they agreed. Because if you went on north on Ohio Street past Garfield, you get into some historic houses, which will create more of an expense trying to accommodate and getting the easements through there.
So go ahead.
I was just saying, so we're excited about when we're going to have that done. It's going to be about another year and a half after we get through with the 69 project. But again, it'll be a step forward for our city.
So on South Street, are you going to be needing to take some property? Will there be eminent domain things there?
Not necessarily eminent domain unless it actually comes back to that.
Okay.
Right now, the state is in the process of looking at those properties and taking what we need to, and then there'll be the same situation on Ohio Street.
So right now we're outside of one of my family's favorite stores on the square, Fables and Fairy Tales Bookshop, and they have been nominated and are receiving the award for Outstanding Business of the Year. And I can't wait to go in there, surprise them. It's been a long year, especially for a bookstore, and the fact that they're on the square, and my kids go in there and buy books all the time. And so this is a lot of fun. Let's go surprise them. Hello.
How are you guys?
Good. Is Jenny here?
I am here.
You are Jenny?
Yes.
My name's Jamin Baxter, and this is Darcy Quakenbush. She's the chairman of the Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
And we're here to present you with the Outstanding Business of the Year award.
Oh, wow.
Are you surprised?
I am surprised.
Good. That's what we like.
We love it.
So
Wow.
I'm going to tell you a little bit about what the person that nominated you. The person that are we telling who nominated? Okay, the person that nominated you is Tasha Daughtry. Here's what she said. Fables and Fairy Tales has done a remarkable job of navigating the many challenges of the past year, including a global pandemic, downtown construction, and more. As a nurse owner, Jenny Middleton knew the difficulty that medical professionals faced in wearing PPE all day, every day. So Fables and Fairy Tales began producing and donating plastic devices to help ease some of the discomfort, taking donations from customers to help increase their reach. This ear-saving devices were distributed free of charge to help professionals not just locally, but in other communities. So with the diminished retail sales in the store, they thought outside the box. I love thinking outside the box, to create new revenue streams with their popular t-shirt party group on Facebook. They also created a variety of sales promotions, including the very fun blind date with a book promotion for Valentine's Day. So they offer curbside service and personal shopping services. They have in-store craft classes that have returned this year, and they've also taken care of the at-home version of people. They can come in, get their kits, and do it at home. So it's this kind of attention to detail and care for customers that make Fables and Fairy Tales a wonderful example of the kind of business we want and we need in Martinsville. So congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yay, congratulations.
Thank you.
So just recently it was announced that you've hired a new police chief and is it a deputy chief? Deputy
yes.
chief. Talk about that a little bit.
John Richards, he had made an application for the chief's position, and he was our deputy chief under Chief Spivey. Chief Spivey rendered his resignation, and then John stepped up to be the acting chief for about 4 to 5 weeks. Interviewed several people outside of the department, but realized that John was the best fit for the department, coming from the department and understanding how the Martinsville Police Department was structured and how it worked and how well trained our officers are. When asked about a deputy chief, he named Kenny Murphy. Kenny's been with the department for many years. He's been working at the school on the education side of law enforcement, and I think the two of them will make a great team for our police department.
And you took your time making that decision. It wasn't a split-second decision.
No, it took me probably 4 or 5, maybe 6 weeks. I had people asking, when are you going to do this? And I just want to make sure we get it right. The police department's had a history of having several chiefs on short tenures, and I don't want that to happen. I wish former Chief Spivey best of luck in what he's doing now, but I think with John Richards as our chief, good things are going to happen to our department.
And then real quickly, moving over to the fire department side, we've seen a few retirements this year. Terry Anderson, and you had a nice send-off for him at the city council meeting. And then Chief Green is talking about needing a new fire truck, and you guys are in the middle of some workshops for that.
Yes, we've had 3 workshops already. We'll have one more workshop on the 26th. We've looked at different ideas. Chief Green had one thought and one way we could go. One of the councilmen questioned him on some refurbishing, so they've looked at what those options would be. So we've looked at several options, and again, we're going to have another workshop on the 26th and finalize it because he's going to get a few more numbers for us. The city council does a fantastic job regulating the funds for the city, and they're not ones to go out and spend money quickly without knowing all the information, and I applaud them for taking their time to make this decision with all of the information being supplied to them. And again, I think they're doing a great job with that.
What I thought was interesting is Well, first of all, fire trucks are expensive no matter what.
Oh,
But then
gosh.
when Chief Green made the statement that they're just running out of room for the modern equipment, and I think, you know what? If I'm upside down on the side of a highway, I want them to have all the equipment they need.
You know,
And it's crazy.
with COVID, you know, the police or the fire station was open. People would come in and they'd look at the trucks and things, and hopefully we'll get back to that point where you can. But if you look at their trucks, they are packed, and some of the cribbing that they have in there isn't enough to do the job accurately. So they're hoping to be able to, with the new truck or possibly 2 trucks, then they'll have enough cribbing to take out on the scene to make it safe for everyone.
So COVID obviously impacted our lives in all of our areas of
Yes.
our life. How did it affect the downtown? We've got all these new restaurants and things like that, and the city relies on the food and beverage tax. People weren't able to eat in restaurants. Talk a little bit about how that affected the city.
I tell you, my hat's off to the downtown restaurants and the other restaurants here in Martinsville for thinking outside the box. We rely very heavily on our food and beverage tax, and all the way through last year, we were sweating bullets, wondering, you know, how much of an impact was COVID going to have? These restaurants weren't able to have people coming in; their businesses were going to be down. But when we received our final tally from the food and beverage tax for last year, 2020, it was only down $20,000. And again, my hat's off to the restaurant owners. They thought outside the box. They kept their doors open. It was business not as usual. And so the city is indebted for their thought process on still allowing business to be conducted.
Sure. I actually enjoyed kind of having that curb service. It was nice, and there I remember being in line and waiting along the curb in our cars, and you would talk to people next to you. You'd roll your window down and talk, and people were just trying to give business to the restaurants because we wanted to see them succeed. We didn't want to see them go anywhere, and to see our community come together and support our restaurants like that, it was great.
Yes, it was. And here again, the Board of Works went ahead and allowed for a couple spaces to be marked off in front of each restaurant that would want it, and that way allow for a little bit easier pickup.
Yeah, great. So let's talk a little bit about the mask policy while we're talking about COVID.
Well, a few weeks ago, the governor stated that after the NCAA tournament, that final game was on Monday. On Tuesday that day, the masks were going to be advisory, and he gave it up to each municipality to decide what they wanted to do. What we've done in Martinsville that we thought was very fair was it's up to each individual. If you're going into a situation and you don't feel comfortable, wear your mask. Now, it's up to each business on what they want to do as far as the mask requirement. If a business doesn't feel like they need to have people wear a mask and they can social distance in there, then they may not require it. But out of respect for that business, if they have a sign on the door, please follow what they're asking. You're only going to be in there for a few minutes. There's no reason to create ill will between a customer and a business owner. So, just please follow what they want. As far as the restaurants are governed by the health department, and so we felt like that was up to the health department to make those regulations. And the schools are mandated by the state on what the state was going to require them to use. But as far as the city is concerned at this point, it's up to each individual. If you don't feel comfortable in your situation, I know you and I are okay, and we're not social distanced here right now.
Yep.
But
I'm comfortable, you're comfortable,
yeah.
So we made that decision.
And that's okay. But and again, each week we check and see where our county is on the color chart. We went from blue to yellow, and so. But the state also said, no need to make any rash decisions until you're a couple of weeks into this. So if we go to orange, then the health department may come in and say, okay, this is what we're going to do, but we're going to follow their lead.
And so right now we're outside the Habitat for Humanity store, and we're going to surprise Joe Mills with the Rusie Spirit of Service Award.
I can't wait.
And he doesn't have a clue, and this is going to be fun. So come with us. Hello. I'm here to see Joe.
Good to see Joe.
You see,
Joe, how are you, sir?
I did all right. Hi.
My name's Jamin, and this is Darcy.
Hi.
And we are here to present you with this year's Ruth Russi Spirit of Service Award
Oh my.
from the Chamber of Commerce.
Oh my goodness. That's what that was about.
So he's surprised. So
Can I have my wife?
absolutely.
Come on. Come on. Oh, it has everything to do with you.
I want to read to you a little bit about what the person that nominated you said, okay?
All right.
All right. Joe's leadership has carried Morgan County Habitat for Humanity through a very difficult year. At one point, it looked like it would be impossible to start a build at all in 2020, which would be devastating to the partner families in line for their opportunity to be homeowners. Thanks to Joe's commitment to MCHFH and persistent work with the IHCDA, the organization was able to break ground on a home number 52 in August 2020. Joe is well known and loved in this community for his tireless work to improve lives and help people rise out of poverty. Over the last 13 years, Joe has lent his time and talents to numerous nonprofit organizations, including Overcomers Ministry, Bridges Out of Poverty, Stability First, and Magdalene House, Morgan County Substance Abuse Council, and Habitat for Humanity. You're a busy guy. Joe's also very active in his church at Eastview Christian and coordinates the community garden to provide fresh produce for low-income families and local food banks. Joe's faith has always been the driving force for the endless hours he has dedicated to improving the lives of the underserved in his community. Joe's a true servant leader, and we have never known him to seek recognition for his contributions. Congratulations on the Ruth Russi Spirit of Service Award.
Oh my.
Future projects, what's on the horizon for the city?
I tell you what, there are a lot of great things that are happening with the city. I can't disclose too much right now, but we are looking at two businesses. One wants to locate out on close to the Liberty Loop exit. The city owns some property out there. They're looking to buy that. They would like to buy a couple more acres adjoining that. Right now, they're a company with 25 employees. They're hoping to bring at least 50 jobs to their company.
Just whisper it. You can tell me. It's just between me and you.
No, I can't.
I tried.
And then there's another company we're talking to in Brown County that's looking to relocate here in Martinsville also. As far as housing, you know, back in 2019 when we were out campaigning, we were saying, you know, we wanted to bring jobs, we wanted to bring industry to Martinsville. Well, you know, if you look at our lovely town, we're in a bowl. And if you go south of town to the west as you're going out, that's all floodplain. If you go out across the bypass, you know, all of that is floodplain. So we're limited on what we have. But so now we've kind of changed our direction, thinking that, you know, Martinsville will make a great bedroom community. Once the highway's done, we're 15, 20 minutes from Bloomington, 15, 20 minutes from Indianapolis. And so if we can get houses, and right now, housing is a shortage. I spoke to the realtors last week, and they are lacking for an inventory of homes to sell. You know, if you've got a nice home, it might be on the market 2 days before it's snatched up. So we're in the process of talking to some developers. I know there was a land contract signed last week. They came in the office and showed Gary Oakes the layout, and that's about 125 new homes that will be started fairly soon.
Are you able to disclose where that's at right now or not?
I'm not going to because I don't want to jeopardize the signing of that contract.
Great, that's fine.
And then there's another developer that's looking at some more property. So in total, we're looking at 300 to 350 new homes brought into Martinsville, which will help not only our downtown, the Grand Valley merchants, but our school system.
Absolutely, and I agree with you on the bedroom community idea. My dad worked in downtown Indianapolis, my mom worked in Bloomington. They're from Bloomfield, Salisbury area. They chose Martinsville to live so they could say goodbye, and one went north, one went south. Yeah. And a lot of people do that.
And we're thankful they did, or else we wouldn't have you.
Thank you, Mayor.
You can give me that $5 later.
Okay, yeah. So just recently, the other day, you had a groundbreaking at Pinnacle.
Yes, we are very fortunate to have Pinnacle coming here, Pinnacle Treatment Center. Yeah. They should hopefully be open within the next 6 to 7 months. It amazes me how quick construction will go. They are going to have 32 beds to be able to expand to 64. This is a company that has 2 facilities up in the northern part of the state. They were looking at a couple of other sites. They came in and spoke with us, and Martinsville's very fortunate to have them here. I know a lot of people want to say, we understand the drug rehab, we want it to happen, but not in our backyard. But you know, if we are all honest with ourselves, all of our families have been affected by drug addiction in some manner. And you know, why not in Martinsville? Why not let us be the leaders in helping with this facility?
Well, if you think about it, in the old days, we had the artesian wells, and people came here for treatment for that. So,
exactly.
I mean, this is the modern artesian well, the modern way Martinsville can step up.
That's a great way to look at it. And, you know, I think they will be great for our community. They're willing to jump in and start some projects and help out with other things in the city to promote Martinsville. You know, here again, we were talking about the housing. You know, we're in this valley, and one of the things that we want to try to do, and you don't know it, but you've agreed to help with.
Okay.
And that's kind of a campaign slogan, at home in the valley, Martinsville. And we want to try to get out ahead of that and start doing some promoting to get families to move here. It's a great community.
Absolutely.
Are we perfect? No, but we're pretty darn good.
I think the important thing about not being perfect is just admitting when you get it wrong and then fixing it. And you've done that as mayor. You've stepped up and said, okay, yeah, I made the wrong call on that, and pivoted and moved. And I think that's a sign of a good leader.
Well, thank you. And I appreciate when I've had the opportunity to do that and people understand. You know, none of us are perfect. There's only one person that was perfect that walked this earth. And, you know, none of us are even close to that.
So in closing, Mayor, what are some lasting comments that you'd like to give to the city?
As we go through the rest of this year, be patient. We've got semi-traffic coming through town that's not supposed to be here. We're getting backed up out on the bypass. Even though the engineers said that they studied this, they understood it, I don't think they were here on a Friday night to witness it. Be patient. And by this, you know, give us 1 year. By this time next year, the way things will change for Martinsville will be fantastic. And those things are on the horizon. We can, you know, for years, 69 was just a thought. Now it's happening, it's reality, and we're going to get through this. And as a community, it will be fantastic for it.
Great. Thanks for joining us, Mayor.
Oh,
Always a pleasure.
you're welcome, Jamin. Thank you.
And now a special thank you to all our sponsors: AES Indiana, Boren, Oliver and Coffee, Duke Energy, Franciscan Health, Home Bank, Inside Morgan County, IU Health Morgan, Key Bank, Reporter Times, Barnes and Thornburg, Brickhouse Loft, a boutique hotel, Brickhouse on Main, Citizens Bank, Community Chrysler Dodge Jeep, DLZ Indiana, FBF Originals, Foley, Peden and Wisco, Hobson Chevrolet Buick GMC, HNTB, HWC Engineering, Ivy Tech Bloomington, Milestone Contractors, Morgan Insurance Group, Recovery Works Martinsville, SCI REMC, Shields Designs, WCBK 102.3 FM, WMYJ 100.5 Joy FM, Baird Private Wealth Management, Dalton and Company, First Merchants Bank, Keller Office Supply and Printing, Meadow Lakes, Berries and Ivy, Brad and Darcy Quakenbush, Edward Jones, Martinsville, Morgan County Economic Development Corp., the Sterling Butterfly. Visit Morgan County.